Alright, so what did I say we were going to talk about? We just lost everything we had.
Brushing your beard.
Not brushing you brush your beard.
I don't have a beard, but I can only imagine that brushing your beard feels really nice.
It does.
Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
Hola, you amazing artists! Submitting your work to a juried art exhibition or juried art competition could be absolutely and completely terrifying.
But way more fun than being called in for jury duty.
We have a question from Ida Cecilia Portillo. Hi, Rafi was here. I would love to know if you have ever submitted your work to a juried show. If so, were you nervous? Did you photograph your own work? And how did you overcome any of the critics? Thanks in advance. You rock. No, you rock, Ida. So the concept of having your art judged by anybody is a terrifying one to new artists and old artists.
Old like seasoned, not old like, I'm old in painting. I just got started a week ago, but I'm old, so.
That's not what I mean seasoned. Now, the first time that I entered a juried art exhibition, I was extremely nervous. Oh man, I just got real nervous. Why am I even getting nervous? I'm a professional artist who sells his work, and yet I'm scared to enter pieces into an art competition. Ultimately, what happened with that one is that I won Best of Show. So then I was even more nervous because socially awkward me had to show up and receive an award and get clapped for in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah, I remember that. You thought of all the reasons why it would be impossible for you to make it there that evening.
You know, and the thing is, the biggest fear, what causes a lot of the nerves is the idea that you will not make it in the show. That your pieces, for some reason, are just not good enough. I honestly recently experienced that when I entered my pieces into Cubed. Cubed is this really cool art exhibition thing that they're going to do in November where they have these 4 8-foot cubes. They're going to have 16 artists come and do something on each side of the cube. I submitted my proposal and did not get in.
It was real awesome, though.
Yeah, it was a really cool proposal, and maybe I'm not over that not getting in thing.
Why? What are you thinking in your head right now? Clearly, they just have a bunch of idiots on this jury.
That's not true. That is not true. It's easy to come up with all the excuses in the world on why you didn't get in. Idiots on the jury, or it's a conspiracy. That's my biggest one that I fall back on. My family tend to have these conversations about all these organized conspiracies that were out to either get them or get somebody that they knew.
Yeah, and they all start with probably.
Yeah.
Probably that guy knew that guy.
The moment they hear my dad start a conversation with probably, that means that he's coming up with some stories of conspiracy theories. So yeah, so my brain might go there. Luckily that only lasted a few seconds and I realized like, no, doesn't have anything to do with that. I'm sure that 16 very, very awesome and brilliant artists got accepted into the show and I can't wait to see it.
Probably they had like 600 people submit work to that show.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people that are submitting into the show, so don't take it personal if you don't make it into a show. Then I submitted my work to a different juried art exhibition and I got in. Yay! So I'll be doing Art at the Annex pop-up exhibition Friday, October 20th, tomorrow, and you'll be able to see one of my pieces in this collection of very, very amazing art. So I am super stoked about that. So do I still get nervous when I enter a show, even though I've entered several of these? Yeah, I do. You know, the anticipation kind of builds up and you're like, am I going to get in? Am I not going to get in?
Personally, I hope that nervous excitement never goes away.
Yeah, at that point, why even enter a juried art exhibition? Yeah. Have I ever had a juried art exhibition show my work and it was like the make it or break it moment? Like, oh my goodness, I got into the show. Now I have made it. I am famous. No, it doesn't happen like that. It is a gradual building of different things. To answer your other question, yes, I photograph my own work. I always photograph my own work. I am not the greatest photographer of artwork that there is, but I do have several tips. So if you guys want to watch a video on how I photograph my work, let me know and I'll put a video together on how to photograph artwork. Now, there are 4 reasons why I suggest that you enter juried art exhibitions even though you're you're nervous about it. The first one is because you are nervous about it. Face that fear. Put yourself out there. Start to announce yourself to the world that you are an artist, and don't worry about failure. The fact that you entered something, even if you don't make it into the show, trust me, it will be totally worth it.
Yeah, the last show I didn't get into, I was so proud of myself that I didn't even care.
Yeah, I was proud of you too.
I couldn't even form words in my mouth. I think they probably thought that I had something seriously wrong with me.
Another reason is building your artist resume, selling your work to a new audience, especially if it's a competition for a gallery in another state, and winning awards. Winning awards is something awesome that you could add to your resume. That being said, there are a few things that I look into before entering just any art competition. These are the small rules that I follow just to make sure that it's worth me entering. So does my art meet the guidelines of the art competition? So if the competition is for sculpture, would it make sense for me to enter a painting? It's very common sense type thing, but it's definitely something that you should check right off the bat. Are you required to send additional info like your artist bio, statements, credentials, resume, whatever it is that you got to send? See if you have everything that you need to be able to send to this competition so you could fulfill their criteria for the show. What are the fees for the show? You definitely want to look into the fees. If they are a small fee to enter a competition, I am cool with that. If there is a fee that you actually have to question whether or not you want to do this competition, or if there is a fee after you win, I would say avoid that competition. That is definitely a scam. Basically, it goes like this. You've won, and now to enter your art into this exhibition, we need you to pay this fee. Or you've won, so now to enter your art into this great book that we have, we need you to pay a publishing fee. It's no freaking way.
Your poetry was selected to be in this book, and you're like, I won. But I feel so empty inside.
Also, looking to see who's the judge. Are they somebody that has credentials in the art world? Are they somebody that has something to do with the theme of what the show is? Will the art be juried from pictures, or do you have to send the work? Take a look into that process and whether or not that process is super involved or if it's super easy. None of the pictures that I have of my artwork ever do them justice, and I'm sure that you have the same issue. So if you are doing it from pictures, make sure that you get some really, really good pictures of the work. What type of awards are being given? Another thing to look at, whether or not it is a scam or not. If you have to pay for your award, then don't do the show. If it is a show that they're purchasing your work, you don't want that first place prize to be $100. That is the value purchase price that they are giving you for your artwork, and you just gave them a $500 piece. Take a look at those things as far as like prizes and what awards there are and whether or not you have to dish out any money to win your award. Take a look and see how many of the works will be accepted, how many works you could actually send in. A lot of times you could submit up to 3 works for the same jury price. I would take advantage of that. If you could submit up to 3 works, then submit up to 3 works. Check and see if the works need to be available for sale, so it's not one of your pieces that you just took down off your wall. If it is a gallery exhibition show, make sure you look in to see how much of a commission they're going to take on the sales of your work.
What's typical anyway? 50%?
Yeah, about anywhere between 30 and 50% is rather high. Some of the competitions that I haven't entered into, they will say 60%. It's like, no freaking way. I could understand going halvesies with somebody, especially if they're doing a lot of promoting and putting a lot of money into the show itself. But as far as like me making the least amount of money on my artwork, no freaking way. Not gonna do it.
That ain't square.
No. If they're selling the work, you also want to check into and see who's responsible for paying the taxes. You also want to check into the venue of where the work is going to be displayed. You want to know where your work is going to be displayed and in what context it's going to be in, because it's your work. You want to know where it's going to be shown. You also want to ask questions on how the exhibit's going to be promoted. How are they going to promote the show? How much money they're putting into the show? Especially if I'm going to be paying a jury fee, I want to know how much they're pouring into the show. Another thing too is you want to check into the small print and make sure that you are not losing the copyright to your artwork, that you are not signing any paperwork that gives away your rights to your artwork. One thing that I look into to determine whether or not it's a legit show is it an annual show, and what are the reviews that artists in the past have given on this show. Another thing to look at in that sense is, are they insured? Do they have insurance for the work if anything happens to the work? If you're feeling that they're a little bit sketchy and you're not sure about the place, see if you can check with the Chamber of Commerce and see if they have any records on this organization. You want to enter an art competition and you're worried that people are going to criticize your work or judge your work or tell you that your work is not good enough, good for them. Let them say whatever it is that they want to say. As far as you're concerned, you're just entering a piece to a juried art competition and then you are walking away. And if you get in, awesome. If you don't, where's the next competition for me to enter? And that's all I got on juried art competitions. Just do them. That's the only advice I'd give you, is just do them and see what happens. If you guys found this helpful, please give us a thumbs up. Also, let me know your experience in entering juried art competitions or exhibitions, what you did to get over your fear, if you had any fear, and what your experience was like. Just leave them in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. I totally adore you. And if you like this video and you want to watch more, just click over here to subscribe. And that's it. That's all I got. Say goodbye, Clee.
Good day.
Adios.